shows right here on KAZ, none other than God in Everything, with prophetess Rosalyn Atkinson and Pastor Gail Matthews. Take it away, prophetess.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's edition of God and Everything, where we talk about, you guessed it, you know it, God and everything. We welcome you. I'm going to ask that you share this God and Everything broadcast. I'm going to ask that you start your own watch party, invite your own friends, invite your foes, invite everyone you know, because this is going to be explosive. This episode of God and Everything is going to trigger some things in some folks that's been lying dormant, that they have been, you know, mulling over and pushing down, because we are going to talk about the elephant that has been in the room for over 400 years, and that is racism and the spirit of racism. Listen, we have had issues from the moment that the first African person stepped on the grounds of, I believe it was Virginia, I believe it was. And I want to say that it was 1619, but it could have been 1514. But before we go into all of that, I want you guys to continue to pray for our nation. I want you guys to continue to pray for our president, continue to pray for those that are in authority, the mayors, the senators, the representatives. I'm talking about governors. Please pray. Please keep yourself as safe as you possibly can. Please note that because the sun came out, that does not mean that COVID-19 has disappeared. Because the weather has changed, that does not mean that COVID-19 has vanished. I want you to understand that. So you stay as healthy as possible, and stay as cautious as you possibly can. By all means, am I ever saying be fearful? Because we will never be afraid, those of us who trust in God. You know, it don't mean the fear don't come your way, honey, but you get a second wind, you shake your head and say, I'm going to trust in the Lord with all my heart. I'm not going to lean into my own understanding. You know, I trust in God. Whom shall I be afraid? Whom shall I fear? Though my enemies come, they will stumble and they fall, because I trust in him. And so I just want to encourage you to remain prayerful, to remain cautious as well. And I want to do a little advertisement piece right here. Myself and my partner, Shantae Fuller, have designed these shirts, which are available. They are $25 plus tax, $5 shipping, for all of the girls, my sister friends, my girlfriends, mom and them, and all y'all that like bling. We did it in bling, but we do not have to do it in bling. We have it both in men and women. We have it up to size 3X, I do believe, and they all cost the same. They're all $25. Whether you are small, or whether you're a medium, a large, an extra large, a 2X, or 3X, baby. We get, I survived COVID-19. I have one with your name on it. So please inbox me on Facebook. I am Prophetess Rosalyn. You can also inbox me or DM me on IG. I am also Prophetess Rosalyn. There are many, many, many ways to get in touch with me to order your t-shirt, okay? Because I'm going to be rocking mine, because I survived it. Did I have it? No, I didn't, but I am a survivor of it. It has been looming everywhere you go. You don't know who got what, when, where, how. I don't care if you in BJ's or in Walmart. There very well could be somebody walking around with it that you passed by, that you've come in contact, that waited on you, that bagged your groceries, that put your groceries in the car. And if you didn't come down with it, baby, you are a survivor. So I have these shirts available. And please, again, contact me via Facebook or IG. Okay, now back to our topic today. You know, this is very, very solemn, Pastor Gail. You know, in the last month, we have, because of the color of a person's skin, we have lost Breonna Taylor, who was the EMT in her bed asleep when the no-knock warrant busted into her house, and her boyfriend began to shoot because he thought that it was an intruder. And they shot and killed this young woman
Oh my
who
God.
never woke up, went to bed that night, you know, like we all do, to go to sleep, and never woke up because officers burst into her house and shot and killed her. And here's the thing, they were in the wrong home. They were looking for the wrong person in that home. Actually, the person that they were looking for was already arrested. I want that to sink in. Already arrested. And then we have Ahmaud Arbery, who was simply jogging in a neighborhood in America where we all can jog, walk, we can trot, we can skip, we can dance up and down any street in America because it is supposed to be our right to do so. And this young man was jogging, and come to find out, these three perpetrators came for him on 2 to 3 different occasions, trying to block him in, and he escaped. And they rode ahead of him and blocked him where he couldn't get away, and then ultimately took his life, all because of the color of his skin. And then a couple days ago, we have George Floyd, where I initially saw the picture, and they were talking about the video, right? The caption, with the white officer's knee on his neck. And I knew that I couldn't watch it, because once you see a thing, you can't unsee that. And so there are certain things that I just can't see. It started coming, and I quickly go up, full speed ahead, because I know that I have to guard my eyes. I have to watch them. And I know that I can't see a man murdered on TV right before my eyes. This man is begging for his life. They tell me that he was telling them that he couldn't breathe. And where did we hear that before? We heard, "I can't breathe" from Eric Gardner. Same thing. And even when the man went unconscious, this racist, bigoted, hate-filled officer kept his knee on his neck. He didn't let up, even though the man was unconscious. Here's the thing with me. When you're in handcuffs and you're on the ground face down, you are absolutely no threat. There are 4 to 1. There are 4 white police officers to this one black man. He's already outnumbered, and he's definitely outgunned. Did I mention that these people were unarmed people? So Eric Gardner dies for allegedly selling cigarettes. This man dies for allegedly writing or forging a check. None of which of these crimes are worthy of death. And it's amazing to me that officers arrested Dylan Roof, the one who gunned down 9 innocent black people in church. They arrested him with handcuffs behind his back and took him to Burger King to get him something to eat before they booked him, after he assassinated 9 people. Every single one of those officers should have lost their job and should never be in law enforcement that did that. Every one of those officers should be marked as racist people. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
See, here's the thing. Y'all want to keep tiptoeing around the issue. I refuse to tiptoe around the issue. The elephant has taken over the room. It has taken over the room. And we are watching this unfold right before our eyes. But what is so very, very sad is that these are the ones that have been recorded. There are so many that have not been recorded. And then before the ability to be able to record was made, affordable to us, look at all the innocent young people, black men and women that have lost their lives, and nobody had a phone, nobody had a tape recorder, nobody had a video camera, and they've lost their lives. This has to stop. It has to stop. And, we have all of these black people that are outraged. I haven't seen not one that has tried to make an excuse other than Candace Owens, who is absolutely an idiot. She is an absolute fool. I said it. Give her my name. She and I can dialogue. She is an absolute idiot. Listen, I don't care what color you are when it comes to injustice or anything for that matter. If you're wrong and you're black, you're wrong. If you're wrong and you're white, you're wrong. If you're wrong and you pink, purple, and gray, wrong is spelled W-R-O-N-G for everybody across the board. I don't care who you are. Wrong is wrong. I had the opportunity to watch, somebody posted a white sister who talked about how outraged she was at this. But initially, as she began to talk, she talked about how, you know, she always likes to get the facts. She doesn't like to pass judgment without seeing the whys and the rules. I stopped watching her because, listen, it does not matter if nobody else is dead. And if nobody is dead and the person's life is not being threatened, and we see on camera someone being in a blue uniform, a white shirt, a pink shirt, or a polka dot shirt, if we see that person kill another person, I don't need to see what happened before that. What?
Right.
See it for what? Because he is subdued. He is on the ground with his face to the ground. Eric Gardner, they had a chokehold on this man to the ground. He has no weapon. What are we talking about? I don't need to see anything prior to that. It's obsolete to me. The video is saying everything that we need. This person was unarmed and did not have to die, should not have died. Y'all are vigilantes out here in blue uniforms. And here's my thing. We constantly say it, and I say it too. All officers are not bad, okay? All black men are not criminals. All black women are not angry. Actually, I don't know any angry black women. I know assertive black women. I know black women that understand their position. I know black women that are bold and vivacious, but I don't know any angry black women. I'm just talking about the people that I know, the women that I know that are black. And those stereotypes are ludicrous to me. When on the flip side, we see a white man in a uniform or in a truck or walking down the street and jumping out of a car to pick a fight with an innocent black boy who just went to the 7-Eleven or the convenience store to get him some Skittles and some snacks so he can watch TV and eat his snack like any young American should be able to do. And that man, that young boy, Trayvon Martin, was murdered for absolutely no reason. And a jury of Zimmerman's peers got him off because they all saw through the same lens.
That's good.
They all see through the same lens. So I know it's not all, but this is my problem. This is my issue. Every time we see a black man or woman killed by unarmed, I'm going to keep saying unarmed, killed by white police, every single one of those police that are there, they're all bad. They're all bad. Every single one of them that's in the vicinity of that murder, they are all bad. All four of those officers are bad cops. All four of them. Every single one of those cops that bust in that door and kill Breonna Taylor, they are all bad. Yes, they are. Yeah. Every single officer that stood there and watched as Eric Gardner begs for his life and said, I couldn't breathe, all of them are bad. And here's my thing. If they're not all bad, then tell me what the good ones are. Why the good ones ain't stepping up? Why the good ones aren't saying something? Why the good ones are not on social media saying that this is wrong? Because you're going to lose your pension or you're going to be marked? No. Then you have to, listen, it is time for sacrifice. It is time to stand up for that which is right, no matter what that cost you. And if we keep laying down and not saying anything, this thing will continue. And listen here, I said all of this to say this, and I'm going to let Pastor Gail talk. How about that? I'm not even talking about the world. I'm not even talking about the sinner. I am talking about Christians. I want to give a shout out and my appreciation to the video of Pastor Cheryl Brady and the love of her son-in-law, which is a white gentleman, and a black guy that is who is her spiritual son or godson, one of them, and what all they said, and how she went to her, she took her platform and she addressed this, and how she says she addresses it on a regular basis, and that this has to stop, this has to end. And that is what I am looking for. I am looking for my white brothers and sisters to open their mouth. I'm not talking about a one and done. I'm talking about on a regular, consistent basis. I'm looking for TBN. What a president at a TBN? Mr. Crouch's son. What the son's at? Ain't they the president's nine? They running things. Where is your voice?
Right.
I'm looking for Daystar. Where y'all at? Open your mouth and say something. There's absolutely no way in the world that you can be a Christian on any level and justify this. One of my Facebook friends said yesterday, she said, I'm listening to Moody Broadcasting. She said, and Moody is rubbing me the wrong way. She said, they're making me feel some kind of way. And I'm gonna tell you what I said up under that, because I don't want to get it wrong. I want to make sure I say it just like I read it, just like I posted it. Listen, where are the righteous? Where are the people that this is just making them sick? Where is the righteous indignation from our white brothers and sisters? Where y'all at? And thank God for the 1, the 2, the 5, and the 10, but don't we got many? Don't we? Ain't there multiples of people that are Caucasian that claim to be Christians? And this is what I said in that post. I said it's extremely sad that some white people, and I said some in all caps, white people who allege that they are Christians, they are not. Period. They see through their own racism, bigotry, biases, and privilege. And never, all caps, through the Bible that they claim to preach. God is the God of justice, and he will balance the scales.
Absolutely.
Listen here.
Absolutely.
We got to recognize all of this making excuses. All of this, they need some training. No, they don't need training. They don't need training on how to treat people. Why need training on how to treat a human being when I am supposed to treat all human beings the same? I don't need training on how to treat human beings. I'm going to treat the white man and the black man the same, with respect and honor. It doesn't matter to me that your skin tone is white. I'm going to treat you with respect. I'm not coming for you, so don't come for me. And so this is what we have seen over the last month. And be quite frank, Black people are sick and tired of this. And I just don't know what's going to happen. Because you can't keep doing this to folk and don't think they ain't gonna rebel. And so now we got looting in the Twin Cities. We got them people, they over there tearing up everything, which I hate it. I hate that. But I understand that that is an expression, because walking ain't did nothing. Protesting hasn't done anything. Writing, the people that are supposed to govern and care about all of its citizens, hasn't done anything. We still waiting on the president of the United States to say something. He is the chief executive officer over that branch, and he has said absolutely nothing. So people are mad and they're angry, so they're taking out their frustrations. And thank God they're just throwing a brick through a window and not a bomb through a police car or a police station. Thank God they just snatching some toilet paper out of a Target and not getting a gun and trying to hurt somebody.
God help us.
We got a situation here. We
got a situation.
And it's not going to, this curve is not going to curve. It's not going to change until people that don't look like me begin to speak out, begin to write letters, begin to make their voices heard. If you love Jesus, like you say you do, if you say you wait on his second return, like you say you are, if Jesus is your Lord and you're a person of faith and you're not speaking out about this, I challenge the Jesus that you know, because you don't know the one that's of the Bible. You don't know the God of the universe. You don't know him.
Right. Exactly.
Pastor Gail, help me.
I'm going to help you. I'm just sit here and so much comes to my mind. One thing I want to talk about the whole lump of it, and it's illegitimate authority. Now, I'm going to tell you why I say illegitimate authority. Because one, I want to start by talking about the beginning of it. When we talk about the first level of illegitimate authority, and we saw how it operates was in the Bible, and not even before Jesus, we saw David's sons kept rising up when they were not supposed to be authority. They would rise up, and some things accompanied that. I'm going somewhere, so stay with me.
Okay.
Things accompanied that. It always was deception. It always was resignation by spiritual leaders of those who knew the truth. And there was always violence and murder. Okay? There was always deception. There was always resignation by those who were in authority, the religious authorities. And there was always murder. Let's go on down into Jesus' time with Herod. Think about Herod. When Jesus came on the scene, he tried to deceive the wise men. He tried to tell them, go and I want to worship him. Because Herod knew he wasn't the king. But he sat there in that place that the Romans had given him, who had no authority. He sat there and thought he was king of the Jews. So here comes the real king of the Jews and the king of all kings. So now he wants to get him out of authority. So he starts off with deception. Then we got religious leaders. The Pharisees, they was Jews. They was the ones who done studied the law. They read Isaiah like we read him. They read everything. They read that he was coming in Bethlehem. They knew all of that. But they denied the authenticity of Jesus Christ. Okay, listen. Now I'm talking about something. This is every time there's illegitimate authority. Finally, the result was murder. They ended up murdering not only Jesus, but they murdered Jews, they murdered prophets, they murdered throughout the years. Let's fast forward to now. Illegitimate authority. Before the election, at night when I would go to bed, I turned my TV on, usually to go to sleep to it. My husband works at night. And rise for several nights and weeks this went on. I don't know how it ended up being on the History Channel, or I would float to the History Channel. They were talking about the rise of Nazism. Now, you know, I'm not one of them people. So what I care about Nazism? But the Spirit was speaking something to me. Hitler was not a smart man. Everybody wanted to try to make him a genius. He was an idiot. He was not only an idiot, he had mental and psychological problems. But what he did was he got an audience. And from that audience, he drew other like-minded people. Not only did he draw like his own illegitimate authority, got him to get all the other illegitimates or those that knew they were nothing, to bolster him up to be their spokesman and their figurehead. And people that felt like they had authority, those that were of the more of the, I'm gonna say this, the lily white faction, because the Jews were considered that. Okay, the blonde hair, the blue eyes, that kind of thing. They felt like they was more important and they was a superior race. So they rose up in their authority, okay, under the voice of this man and his influence to formulate an army that was killing millions. Without, for a long time, without the knowledge of nations. And you think there wasn't, the Catholics knew it, Christians knew it, but it was going on. And wasn't nobody saying nothing, and wasn't nobody doing nothing. And now we want to be appalled when we see bodies upon bodies by the trillions and the millions that was thrown in graves, makeshift graves and everything, and we call it the Holocaust. I ain't forgot about us. I'm talking about illegitimate authority being coming from a maniacal or a maniac stream. And it comes from the devil, because the devil is the first maniac. Anytime you can't sit next to God with all the authority and all the talents and all the giftedness you got, and you can't abide in there, you're a maniac. You're a fool. So here we got this illegitimate authority. Now, not only coupled with this Hitler thing, you got to remember, Hitler had people that was doing his bidding, and they was called the militia. All they were the police. What was the word they called them at that time? And I can't, it's going to escape me. It's the word, the Gestapo.
Gestapo. It was the Gestapo.
There we go. So here we got we got all these people operating out of misplaced authority, and they got power.
Ooh, yeah.
They think they got authority is in their mind more than anything. The offshoots of that is this. Now, the Jews may not have done it, but here we got a people that's strong. Here we got a people now, we know who we are. Here we got a people now who have historically studied their tribes and their origins from Africa. And we realize that the domination that we went through when we came here was first psychological, then it was physical. But the thing they could not deal with and they could not take from us was the spiritual authority that was in us. They could not. I talked to a prophet not too long ago. I talked to Prophet Winnie Hamilton not too long ago, Apostle Winnie Hamilton, and she said this to me. She said, you know, the black man is...
Yeah, we got to get you together. You stopped. Lord, she gonna have to fix her.
Come on. What happened? These people talking to me. I know what it is. These people trying to come on Messenger. You hear me? We got people. We are the eyes of America.
All right. We got to listen. Listen. This is what we must understand, and that is this. Okay. We must understand that at the root of racism and bigotry is the devil. We can never ever lose sight of that. We can never lose sight that he is at the root of it all. But we also got to understand that he uses people. And so in this case, he has used a group of people, of Caucasian people. And again, I'm not saying all, never am I saying all, but we have to admit that he has used Caucasian people to implement his diabolical plan to annihilate the spirit of the black man.
Right.
Period. Dot. And this thing, you know, we thought, at least I did, I thought that racism had took a curve when the country elected Obama, until he got in office and the powers that be came against him with such they were so fierce with it, and such determination to destroy anything that he had set in place. Even the very next president has shown his true colors with every single thing that this man has set in place, that he has gone after and erased with an executive order. So much so that the pandemic team that Obama put in place, he destroyed that, and now we got COVID-19 with no pandemic team in place. And so you pulling straws and trying to get people from here, hither, thither, and everywhere. And so it is very, very, very sad. But here's my thing, Pastor Gail, is that I know without a shadow of a doubt that he that sits high and looks low is going to balance the scales. He's going to do it. We have over 2,000 scriptures that talks about injustices, talks about feeding the poor and clothing the naked and taking care of the widow and the fatherless. And America has turned her back on them all. We have countless numbers of scriptures that tell us to be kind to the immigrant, to be kind to those that are not like us, to love them and to treat them like our brother. But yet we've done the opposite. Don't we understand that God is going to balance the scales, that this cannot keep going on, that innocent blood is continuing to cry out to him from the ground.
Come on.
And it's innocent black blood that's crying. It would be a horse of a different color. I have never, ever seen a white policeman kill a white man on TV, on film. Unless it's in the movies, unless it's something that they made up, some writer that wrote it and a director that directed it. I've never seen that happen. I don't care what the white man has done. Now, I have seen white men shoot at police and police not shoot back. Isn't that amazing? That they can go for cover for a white man shooting at them, but a black man who is unarmed, have absolutely no weapon, is no threat whatsoever, all of a sudden their lives feel threatened. And it's so bad that two occurrences happen. We have a I got to get to it because I got to read it. We got the lady in New York, I believe it was. The man was in Central Park who was bird watching. He bird watching, and she is walking around with her dog not on the leash, which it is the rule for the dogs to be leashed. And so when he asked her to put her dog on the leash, because he is trying to watch birds fly. You can't watch the birds fly and the dog running around your feet or coming after you. So he asked her to keep up with the rule, to do what the requirement was to be in this particular part of this park. And she got angry because like, this black man ain't gonna tell me what to do. But the black man wasn't telling you what to do. He was telling you to adhere to the rule already established. But it was coming from a black man. And so instead of her just leashing her dog and walking away and going on about her business, she did what some white people do, and that is call the police on a black person. And thank God for the phone. I'm telling black people, you better keep your phone on fully charged when you out here in these streets. Because you don't know if you're going to have to record your own incident or somebody else's. But keep your phone on charge. That's just for real, for real. That is the day and time in which we live. And this woman is clearly 100 feet away from this man and tells him to stop filming her. And he says no. And she picks up the phone. She tells him, I'm going to call 911. And when she does, she tells the people on the other end that this black man is threatening her and her dog. And apparently the 911 officer said, what did you say? Or excuse me or whatever. Then she lifted up her voice like she was being threatened. He's threatening me. He's threatening me and my dog. White people, I've told y'all this before. I'm going to tell you again. Stop calling the police on black people. But you think it's your right. You're not the defenders of the galaxy. You're not the defenders of planet Earth. Stop that. Stop it. And this woman, and listen, her whole life has turned around because of that video going viral. She has lost her 6-figure income job. She even lost the dog. The people came back and got the dog that she rescued. They rescued the dog from her, and they should have. And then we have another owner of a business. He comes in this week, Gail. I just saw this morning. These black guys that's renting this space for their business. They've been in this corporate or a building that people rent space for their businesses, okay? So it's not just your building, it's your space, right? And they have a common gym for anybody that is a renter of space in this building to use. And so these 4 or 5 Black guys who rented their own office space and have been there for over a year and a half doing their business, they are there working out. And this white man comes in and asks them, are they supposed to be there? No, are you supposed to be there? Don't you ever ask me, am I supposed to be in a place that I am? Because first of all, it ain't your business if I'm supposed to be there or not. This is not yours. This is a common place. You are not the owner of this, but because you're not, you think you are the agent of the world. You're the keeper of the galaxy. And so he asked these young men, and they began to tape him. And they said, yes, we're supposed to be here. We have an office here. And he said, show me your key. No, I don't have to show you anything. They was like, I'm not showing you nothing. Of which each one of them had their own key to get in. They had their own key to get in, Gail. And they taped him. Well, the owners of that building, they kicked him out. He no longer has a business in that building. See, these are the things that need to happen to these racist, bigoted people. They need to feel it because they only understand economics. They don't understand what we're talking about, but you hit that pocketbook, they begin to recognize, oh, something is wrong. And then lastly, I'm gonna say about this other Black guy, I read his story. He is a professor at a school. He shows the picture of the clothes that he had on. He goes to get him a sandwich. He parks his car. He says he sees the policeman. He parks his car and he walks down the street. And as he's crossing the street to go get him a sandwich for lunch, the man stops him and tells him that he fits the description of a Black man in these clothes with a knitted hat on. Well, the man says this knitted hat that he had on was handmade by a friend. It's pink and purple and gray and red and all this. So it's an original. So it's not just a common knitted hat. And so he told them, but he had his badge on around his neck. Got his name, he professor, picture of his picture. He a professor at a college. All of this is right in his neck. He tells them all of this. More cops come. They ask him the same thing. They say they're going to go get the lady whose house this particular person allegedly tried to break in to go and get her to see if she can eyewitness him. Are you kidding me? You get ready to go get the lady to see if this is the man. And so he was so upset. He said that this white woman walked by and said to the cops, looked at him and looked at the cops and said, you all are busy this early in the day. Like he was guilty. You all are really busy this early in the day. Like he was guilty. He's already guilty because of the color of his skin. So he says he sees a Black woman come out of another store and she stopped and she watched and she waited and she stayed there to make sure it wasn't anything crazy. You know, but he said he felt so humiliated because of all the questioning, where you live, he told her, where your car at, all these things he answered. But in addition to that, his badge says Professor so-and-so at what college it was, with his picture on it. You see that this man is a professor. Guaranteed 10 out of 10, a professor is not going to break in somebody's house. He has no need to. He has no need to. And so it's just one thing after another. And then we had Pastor Christopher Keys, who went to he's a white evangelical pastor, who went to a motel to have sex with a male prostitute that he met on Craigslist, and he got robbed, right? White man, white pastor, right? And he calls the police and he blames it on a Black man, just saying that he got robbed. And it wasn't even a Black man that was on the Craigslist that met him in the hotel. And then the lady that drowned her autistic son said 2 Black men robbed and kidnapped her, carjacked her, and killed her autistic son. They keep like, you know why they can do that? It's because folks listen to it. We're criminals because we are demonized because of the color of our skin. And it must stop, and it must stop today. I am the mother of 3 Black men. I am the wife of 1 Black man. And I had a Jewish lawyer tell me over 20 years ago, every time they step out of their doors, they are a target. He said, this Jewish lawyer told me, every time they step out of their doors, they are a target. That is very, very sad, and it has to stop. It's so sad because if you're in trouble, or if a Black person is in trouble, we don't even want to call the police because we know that if the police come, it's going to turn out deadly. Somebody is going to leave in a body bag. And it might be the person that's calling the police because they think somebody is breaking in their house or some drama going on or whatever. They may be the very one to leave in a body bag. So it has to stop. It has to stop. And it ain't that much training in the world to change a person's heart. People need to be born again. And even the born again believer. See, this is what Jesus said. It ain't just okay, it's wonderful to get saved. It is. Your sins is forgiven, your soul is saved, you're on your way to heaven. But this is what Jesus said. If you're going to be a disciple of mine, a disciplined one that follows me, you must pick up your cross and you must follow me. But you got to continue in my word. See, that's where the transformation comes from, is through the word. When you start reading this Bible like it is, when you start reading it in the context of which it is written, then you will understand that God loves everybody the same. He has no special children at all. The Jew and Gentile has always been the same. Always been the same. Because he created humanity. He just chose a people after the sin so his son can come through to save us all. That is it. It wasn't because they did so much righteous more than us. As a matter of fact, they was doing some horrible things, worshiping gods that they had made after they came through the Red Sea from a supernatural God. I mean, all of that. All of that. If you read your Bible, you will see that God loves everybody and that he will fight for the underdog. And I'm telling you, the God of the universe is going to balance the scales.
Absolutely. And Rob, I hope my sound is better. Is it better now? Is the sound a little better now?
You're a little popping. You popping.
I don't understand.
Why you got staticky? When we did the forerun, you ain't had none.
I think I may be. Am I too loud? Is that what it is? Did that help it? Did that help it? Did that help it?
Just a little bit. Okay, go ahead.
I might be too loud. I'm not sure, but I know why. Do you hear me now? He says it's awful. I don't have all tail. Is it better now?
Back up
Can you hear
a little
me?
bit. Back up a little bit.
I'm gonna talk. Is that it? Is that it?
That's a little better.
Is that it, Larry? Is that it better? I'm gonna say this if I have to write it. I'm gonna say it's better. Okay, listen to this. I was talking about that illegitimate authority, and I know y'all thought I was going on a rabbit trail, but this is what.
No.
Okay, this is what I'm bringing it to. If I have one child in this house that I think they're better than the other child, that child is gonna ride my other 2 kids all his life. He's gonna think he's supposed to get everything. He's gonna act different. He's gonna expect me to say, okay, so all of mine act the same way. They all think they superior. Okay?
Yeah.
Because I made them all feel special.
That's
and
right.
those that know me know why I did that. I want them to know their blessings. I started calling them blessings. Rosalyn, this is what I know. And especially as I watched and I looked at that picture that we've all been just horrified by, with that man's knee on that man's neck. First of all, it is illegitimate authority. The rise of this is because we have a people here who know they have no place having authority over another man. That has never been given to them by God, and certainly not over somebody because of the color of their skin, their ethnicity, their country of origin, anything. And then the other thing is the reason that this it comes up out of people is because actually they are threatened. They are threatened
Absolutely.
by the strength that is in us. They're threatened by, and I even say the color. I even say the color is threatening because of not only we are diverse, it's diversity in us, and it's something in us that won't break. You bring somebody here and do the things and perform the atrocities that have been brought against us, and we keep rising to the level of God till we become the president of the United States. That is, and you got people with a mindset, and the mindset stayed really hidden for a long time. It was kind of under wraps. It came out in little incidents, but they weren't, just perpetual, just every day a new incident and all this killing and all this. But all you need is one person with a strong magnetic force to begin to pull all these lesser magnets to themselves. So now we have one with a voice, has a magnetic voice. You ain't saying nothing. You can't begin. If I put you speech by speech to our former president, you look like a kindergartner, if that. Your handling of issues is infantile at best. What is the things that should not be addressed and should not be fought verbally, are handled verbally, they're handled verbally and ignorantly. Okay, so all of that, but you managed to hoodwink and bamboozle people enough that you rise now to be the one who leads this brigade of ignorance throughout this country. And so what has happened is God knew that this illegitimate authority was getting ready to come into play. And so he allowed it for whatever reason to all be set in place. But that don't stop, and I want every black person that I want to hear it to take this all over. That does not stop legitimate authority. It did not stop the power that was in Jesus. It did not stop the presence of Jesus. It did not stop the influence of Jesus. And still, here we are 2,020 years later, and we are still seeing him doing miraculous and life-changing things. So shall it be with us. So shall it be with us. I don't care how many pictures they put up with the knees. And listen, I'm going to be like my girl Maya. Every time I look at that picture, I want to say, and still I rise.
Come on here.
Every time we hear about Eric Garner, we hear about Brianna, we hear about Ahmed, when we hear about our little Trayvon, when we hear about Tamir, when we hear about all this, I want us to say just like Maya Angelou said, and still I rise. Because this morning, I felt like that boy. I felt like, as I saw the picture found this morning, I felt like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe because I was born in 1957, and I've lived through all these decades to a point now where this kind of mess is going on every day. I can't breathe. I can't breathe because this illegitimate authority, my God, has just risen up. I can't breathe. But I can't breathe when my sons go out and your sons go out. And we don't know what's going to happen with one encounter. We tell them, y'all got to be good to y'all girlfriends because we got some crazy, even our boys, we got to watch out for the crazy chicks they get with. They may call the police on them to get our boys killed. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, understand.
All of this makes me can't breathe. But I tell you one thing, before they hit their knees, Roz, I'm going to hit mine.
Yes.
And we're going to see who got the real power.
How about that? And you said something real key there. it is, and I say this to God, I say this to him, it is so unfair that mothers of color have to hold their breaths until their children get back in the house, until they get the phone call that I'm home. They have to hold their breath until they hear from them that you're constantly saying, if you're stopped by the police, if you come into contact with a policeman, is yes, sir, is no, sir, is asking him, can you go in your pocket and get your wallet? Is asking him, can you go in your car and get your whatever? It's never just, you know, I will never forget, this was a couple of years ago, a policeman, he sees a black guy wasn't speeding, wasn't doing nothing. He pulls up in the gas station, and here comes the squad car sitting over there. Just want to mess with a black guy because that's what they do. Some of them just want to mess with a black man, just want to mess with a black woman. That is the truth. Y'all mad at the truth? I don't care. I care nothing about anybody being mad at this truth, because I will speak it until my last breath. And he pulls up in the gas station, and he gets out the car, and the policeman was like, because he getting out the car. He said he pulled in, he had no lights on anything, so he getting out the car. And the policeman says, wait a minute, stop, where are you going? He said, I'm going to get gas. He said, you turned illegally. He said, no, I didn't. It says turn right here, and that's what I did. He was like, show me your driver's license. Well, the man just had his bank card in his hand. His wallet is in the car. He goes back in the car to get his wallet. And do you know the policeman shot him 3 times? He shot him. He shot the man, and the man is alive, and he tells him, he said, why did you shoot me? He said, because I didn't know what you were going in the car to get. He said, you told me to show you my license. They were in the car. So you automatically think, if you're that afraid, you shouldn't be a policeman. You know what you need to do? You need to go walk dogs. Right. You need to get you a landscaping business. You know, you need to become a pilot. If you are that afraid of my dark skin, then you should not carry a gun. You should not wear a badge, period. Right. If you that afraid that I'm going to kill you before you kill me. You tell the man to get his license, and he goes to get him, and then you shoot him. Oh, they just sued up everybody. Oh, the man survived and all of that and getting plenty of money, but it still has not changed. That was several years ago. When the officer, they didn't even do nothing to the officer. They did nothing to the officer. Remember the man whose client, you know, had some issues, and had some mental health issues, and he is trying to talk him. Black man, he is the case manager or the psychologist or whatever, and he's trying to talk to his white client, right? And he sees the police, and he lays down on his back with his hands over his head, and he's saying to them, I am his therapist, da 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 da. And do you know the policeman shot him? And when he shot, this man is laying, we see it, it's on video. We keep seeing all these videos, so why do we have to see anything prior to the video? When these people are unarmed. Please don't say that to me, because I'm going to tell you all the way off. Because when somebody is unarmed, you don't need to know what happened prior to. You need to know what you are seeing with your eyes and not make an excuse for it. And so he shoots him. And the man says to him, why did you shoot me? And his words were, you can go back and look at the video. His words was, I don't know. But do you know that that policeman was not charged? He shot an unarmed black man laying on the ground for us all to see, with his arms behind his head, laying back, and this police officer was not charged with a crime. And y'all just want us to keep being all right with it. I'm telling you, I am 56 years old. I am past angry. I'm past upset. I'm past livid. I'm past apologies. I'm past all of that. I'm ready for somebody to do something about this. And the only way this is going to change, and guess what? I'm not past praying, because I'm going to keep praying, because I know prayer is the key. But I need to see some stuff in motion. I need some things, see some things in motion. And the only way that this thing is going to, we get two options for this to turn. Jesus to come back. Well, I would say three. Jesus to come back, God to intervene, or our white brothers and sisters open their mouths and say something. And you cannot say something one time. You can't be appalled at this and not appalled at Ahmad. You can't be appalled at this and not appalled at Trayvon. You can't be upset about this and not upset about Breonna. You can't be mad at this and not mad about Sandra Bland. You got to be upset about them all. And not make an excuse about any of it. Well, if only they wouldn't have, listen, white people cuss out the police all the time. They resist arrest all the time, but they still go home to their family.
That's right.
We can do exactly as the police officer asks.
Right.
And we still leave in a body bag.
Right.
George Floyd, they showed the video prior to them when they got him out the car because the police officer lied. Police lie. They lie. I need us to stop acting like they don't lie. They lie. They bend the truth. But I need the good police officers, because y'all out there, that's what we keep saying. I need y'all to say something, okay? They showed the video from the store when they got him out the car. That man, they put the handcuffs on him behind his back, and they walked him and set him down up against the wall. He was sitting there. He wasn't resisting. He wasn't fighting nobody. They put the handcuffs on him, walked him. One police officer walks him, Gail, to out the car, on the sidewalk, up against the building, and he's sitting there. When did he resist? Tell me. He did whatever you asked him to do. Right. And then, listen to this. We still not sure if he even forged a check. They're still not sure. They're not sure that the check was even a forged check. How sad is this? And I'm going to say this. It was 20. It was a 20 of one to check. It was a $20 bill. It was counterfeit money. It was a $20 counterfeit money.
Oh my God.
Thank you for that. Now listen to this. We don't know if he was the forger or he went to a store and got some change from a 50, spent $5, and the $20 bill they gave him was forgery. Because we're not experts. I'm not an expert.
And where is the bill? Where's the bill?
Where
we want to see.
Where the bill? And so I want to wrap up with several scriptures.
Thank you.
Before we close. Genesis 18, verse 24 and 25. It's the account of Abraham and the Lord when the Lord was getting ready to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And Abraham asked the Lord, what if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you really sweep it away and not spare the place for the sake of the 50 righteous people in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to kill the righteous with the wicked, treating the righteous and the wicked alike. Far be it from you. Will not the judge of all the earth do what's right? Please keep that in your forefront of your mind, because the judge of all the earth is going to do what is right.
What is right?
Please understand, though he tarries, he's going to come for his people. Trust and believe that. Hallelujah. Because that is who he is. Proverbs 14 and verse 31 says, whoever oppresses the poor shows contempt for their maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. Proverbs 31 and verse 8 through 9 says, this is the King Lemuel's mother speaking to him. And he says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy, And lastly, my scripture is Amos chapter 5,
Yes. Yes.
verse 21 through 24. God says, I despise your religious festivals. Your assemblies are a stench to me. Even though you bring me burnt offerings and grain offerings, I will not accept them. Though you bring me choice fellowship offerings, I will have no regard for them. Away with the noise of your songs. I will not listen to the music of your hearts. But let justice roll on
Yes.
like a river, righteousness
Yes.
like a never failing stream. That is what God requires. He wants justice to reign. And I want to thank you for listening to today's edition of God and Everything.